Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're moving way beyond basic data entry. Look, if you've ever found yourself manually adding up numbers with a calculator just to type the final total into a spreadsheet, you are absolutely in the right place. Our goal today is simple. Stop doing the manual work and start making Excel do the heavy lifting for us. We're going to build a completely dynamic, reliable, and professional-looking tool right from scratch.
So that brings us to a really massive question. What actually makes Excel more than just a digital piece of graph paper? A lot of beginners treat spreadsheets just like a static table. You type a number in and it just sits there. But how do we transform that static table into a dynamic, automatically updating tool that practically thinks for itself?
Well, the answer is formulas and functions. They are literally the heart of Excel. Think of them as the engine under the hood. By using them, you're allowing a spreadsheet to automatically calculate totals, update results the precise second a number changes, summarize massive amounts of data, and ultimately support your decisions. Whether you're managing school projects, organizing club reports, balancing budgets, or just keeping workplace records, these skills are going to be your absolute best friend.
To master this, we'll follow a practical 5-stage path to build a student club fundraiser tracker. First, entering data smartly. Second, building formulas. Third, functions and checking work. Fourth, formatting for clarity. And finally, polishing and printing.
Let's dive right into Stage 1, entering data smartly, which is all about setting up our tracker.
Okay, here's our Student Club Fundraiser Tracker. We've got our raw data plugged in, full member names, the events they ran, like a bake sale or car wash, the dates, and the dollars raised. But notice that totally blank first name column. If we want to generate personalized thank you notes later, we really need just the members' first names. And let's be real, typing them all out manually would take absolutely forever if we had hundreds of members.
So to get those first names instantly, we use an amazing tool called FlashFill. You literally just type one or two examples, like pulling Maria from Maria Lopez, and Excel magically recognizes the pattern and fills down the rest of the column for you. But, and here is a crucial distinction for beginners, FlashFill is not a formula. It just recognizes a pattern and does a static fill of text. So if Maria's name changes later on, FlashFill won't automatically update it. A formula, on the other hand, is a live calculation that updates automatically the second your data changes.
All right, moving on to Stage 2. Building formulas, where we make the tracker truly dynamic.
Here is the golden rule of Excel, the one thing you must remember, the equal sign. Absolutely every single formula must begin with an equal sign. When you hit that equals key, you are literally telling Excel, hey, stop acting like a typewriter and start acting like a calculator. If you try to type a formula without the equal sign, Excel just thinks it's a weird word and will just sit there and display that exact text. So always start with equals.
Once you've got that equal sign down, you actually have two ways to build your formulas. You can use keyboard entry, where you manually type the formula and cell ranges, like E2 through E6. Or, if you're adding up specific, scattered cells, you can use what's called point mode. This is where you type equals and then use your mouse to physically click cell E3. Type a plus sign and then click cell E6. Point mode is an absolute game changer because it physically prevents you from typing the wrong cell address by mistake.
That brings us to Stage 3, functions and checking work, which is all about summarizing and verifying our data.
Instead of manually scrolling and searching through rows and rows of fundraiser amounts, we can just use built-in functions. Think of functions as prepackaged calculations. You just follow a simple pattern, equal sign, the function name, and then the range in parentheses. So you'd use max to instantly find the largest fundraiser amount, use min to find the smallest value, and use average to find the mean value in your range. Just like that, analyzing your fundraiser's performance takes, maybe 3 seconds?
But hey, remember, we always need to trust but verify. It is entirely possible to write a formula that looks perfectly right on the screen, but is actually calculating the wrong cells. To check your work, enter Edit Mode by double-clicking the formula cell or just pressing F2 on your keyboard. Excel will brightly color-code the outline of the specific cells your formula is referencing. This visual check is absolutely vital. For example, if you're averaging the amounts, you need to make 100% sure that colored outline does not accidentally include your total cell at the bottom. If it does, your average is going to be wildly off.
Okay, Stage 4, formatting for clarity, making sure everything is easily readable.
A major beginner stumbling block when it comes to formatting is understanding the difference between how data is stored versus how it's displayed. Just look at the dates. When we apply a date format, it only changes how the date looks on the screen for consistency, say spelling out October 3rd, 2026, but the underlying stored data remains exactly the same. Formatting is purely a visual layer designed to make your report look professional.
Now, if we want to make standout values pop automatically, we use something called conditional formatting. This isn't just you manually coloring a cell, you are actually setting a rule. For our tracker, we can set a rule that automatically highlights any cell green if the fundraising amount is greater than $200. So, if a club member brings in a late donation and their total jumps from $150 to $210, boom, the cell automatically turns green without any extra effort on your part. It's kind of like magic.
While you're playing around with formatting, you might run into this terrifying sight: a cell completely filled with hashtags. Please do not panic. A lot of beginners see this and think they broke their data or deleted something super important. Actually, those hashtags simply mean your column is just too narrow to display the number inside it. Your data is perfectly safe. You just need to widen the column by dragging the boundary or double-clicking to auto-fit it, and your numbers will reappear perfectly.
And finally, our last stage, polishing and printing, finalizing the report.
Here's our final checklist to wrap this up. Step 1. Always run a spell check by pressing F7. A typo in a heading can make a highly accurate spreadsheet look totally careless. Step 2. Add a header, something like Fall Fundraiser Report, and adjust your margins and orientation, maybe swap to landscape so everything actually fits on the page. And Step 3. Use Print Selection. You rarely want to print the endless millions of blank cells in a workbook. You just want to print the specific area you've highlighted.
Now, for folks using Excel for the web, there is a massive point of confusion when it comes to printing. You must always use Excel's internal file print command rather than just clicking your web browser's generic print button up top. Excel's print settings actually preserve all your hard work, your margins, your orientation, and your selected ranges. The browser's print function, it ignores all of that and usually hands you a very messy split-up table.
So let's take a step back and recap what we've actually achieved today. By building this fundraiser tracker, you haven't just learned a bunch of isolated tools, you've learned a highly repeatable, completely professional workflow. You clean the data with tools like FlashFill. You calculate results using formulas. You check your accuracy with functions and edit mode. You format for clarity so it's readable. And finally, you produce a polished report. You can literally apply this exact 5-step workflow to virtually any project you ever tackle in Excel.
I want to leave you with this empowering thought. A spreadsheet is not just a table. It can calculate, summarize, update, check, format, and present information. You now have the fundamental skills to make your data actually work for you. So the next time you're faced with a massive wall of numbers, whether it's a budget, a class schedule, or an inventory list, ask yourself, are you going to do the hard work manually, or are you going to let Excel do it for you? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and we'll see you next time.